atWork Australia would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands and pay our respect to elders past and present. This podcast is being recorded in the southwest and Western Australia, which is land of the Noongar people. We'd also like to pay our respects and acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands from wherever you may be listening from. Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Candid Conversations with Shaun. In this episode, I speak with one of atWork Australia's job coaches, Rozy. From my conversation with Rozy, I can see that she is very passionate and dedicated about her job and supporting people to be able to find life-changing employment. I really hope you guys enjoy this episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and have a chat with me about your journey with atWork Australia, your role as a job coach. We really appreciate you sparing some time for us.
You're most welcome. I'm so happy to give a bit of testimony about, what I'm doing. So you're most welcome.
So the reason I actually wanted to record this episode with you is that you often receive such wonderful Google reviews, and I've actually interviewed a couple of your clients on this podcast and they've all spoke so highly of you and the support you provide. How does it make you feel when you receive this type of feedback?
To be very honest, it makes me feel so special that I have supported someone who needed me. It helps me to motivate, boost my confidence, and to show people that I'm always there to support them when they need me.
It seems like, you sound very passionate about this type of work. Is this something you've always been interested in and wanted to be able to support others?
Definitely a big yes. The most challenging element with my career that I would like to share is that I come from a country who do not accept as true in mental health or disability. Back then, there wasn't any facilities that condition could be addressed to. People were directed to the eldest in the community or church priest for healing reasons. So when I started my career, it was quite painful and challenging for me to see the clients' frustration and also my colleagues, what they were dealing with them. I always tried to help them in supporting by putting that smile on their faces. However, loving others and meeting their needs was my first priority, which I settled well with. So I'm proud to say that I'm taking a great role in changing people's lives.
Yeah, and like you said, sometimes, the role of job coach can be a difficult job and you're working to try and change people's lives. But, sometimes you're working with people who are vulnerable. They're trying to overcome their different personal challenges. How do you go about trying to support and guide a person when they might be going through these difficult times?
That's a very good question. So firstly, what I do is I utilize my skill in building a great rapport with my clients, making sure that I'm using my listening, communication, responding skills and working together as a team, which is very important factor. I'm a very positive, honest and straightforward person in dealing with things. I make sure that my clients feel comfortable in the environment so that they can open up. I make them feel very special by respecting it throughout meaningful communication without being judgmental. I try to pay attention to what they say.
Yeah, it's always important to listen to others and see how, their barriers are experiencing them. Just you mentioned that you're a very positive person. I'm quite a positive person as well. Do you find that sometimes difficult when you're trying to get people to see things as positive as you might?
Oh, yes, that could be very, very, very difficult too. But you know what? Starting things with at least putting a smile on their face and talking things that is relevant and that is, it does work in both ways. Yeah.
As we mentioned, that sometimes you are dealing with people who require a lot of support because they've been going through a really tough time. They might experience self-harm. They might be trying to overcome significant barriers. How do you not let their issues and the challenges they're facing impact your own mental health?
Well, this could be a very challenging scenarios because clients, we become the first point of contact and they do come with things that is really frustrating them. So what I try to do is, while I'm being in this industry for more than 10 years now, to better myself with all these requirements and for my well-being that is not burning me out, I have studied counseling, which I utilize, it's in my skill and try to support my clients. And also with given support lines that we utilize within the suburbs or within the areas, I do try to refer clients to those areas and to those referrals, and also the support that my organization has given us to utilize, which is a very major point that, we're utilizing all our organization support that is really handful.
Yeah, and I think it's really great that you've recognised that you might not be able to give the clients all the support you need, but you're aware of the services around that you could point them in the right direction so they can get that right support to help them progress.
That's true. Yes, definitely. And sometimes we also face clients that, they would say that I don't have food to eat. So it's not about the employment journey. It's also about really looking after them and supporting them with their needs and wants. What we do, even our managers are always there available, that we contacting them and say, hey, client is here needing $50 food voucher. We are so lucky that organization is keeping all those kinds of support that we are happy to help our clients with.
Yeah, obviously the end goal is to be able to progress towards employment, but if people aren't getting their basic needs to be able to overcome their challenges and become the best version of themselves, then they're not going to be able to progress to employment. So I guess you need to build a strong foundation first and then take the
Yes,
steps in the right direction.
100%.
And without giving away any personal details, are you able to share any success stories that you've been a part of?
Yes, I would like to share the most difficult journey I could think of is my very young, talented client who came with his mother. Beforehand, our meeting, mom apologized, stating, my son is difficult to be with since he has no respect for others. I have to take day off to take him around. If which his doctor's appointment or because he could be harmful to the public. Even so scared to send him alone since he intakes high drugs. She then burst out into tears, which was painful for me because as a mother, I could feel her. He started, when the mother was sharing with me, he started using swear words, which really did blow me away. But somehow I knew that eventually we will connect and he will change. So, what I did, I made him feel comfortable, explained about our services, requirements, and compliance. As we started our journey with the initial paperwork, surprisingly, he threw all the documents on my face using abusive language and walked away. He was in the state that he did take, like yeah, maybe he took drugs and he could throw anything at me. But, I was just remaining humble with the help of the mother because I know that at least mom is there with me. Later, he came back, apologized, and said that, and he said that this is the first provider that has shown me that respect and understood my situation. We then got connected, sat together, had coffee together, a bit of laugh, and completed the paperwork. So, the best outcome from the whole difficult scenario was his mother was so appreciative and couldn't believe that he willingly started to see me alone. And as a result, we worked together and I found him a suitable employment that mother and the son could not believe that would happen. He was extremely happy and continuously checked on me, on him. So he was extremely happy because that was something new that he did not expect was coming. I continuously checked on him, providing the given support by our organization in terms of working clothing, petrol vouchers, etc.
Well, that sounds like quite an experience you've had. You've just had a client throw these paperworks in your face, but you've
Mhm.
then been willing enough to see him again and not hold a grudge and continue to support him. And he's been able to come full circle. So
Mhm.
congratulations up to you for having that strength to be able to approach that situation that way.
Yeah, because thinking that he's a human being and I'm a human being, we are same. And what my tomorrow brings is like, I don't know. So this is where I just want to make him feel that he's wanted. And then this is how we started our journey. And then till the end, I was still checking on him.
And how does that make you feel at the end? Does it make you reassure you that you're doing the right thing, you're in the right place in the right line of work?
I believe so that I'm there for a reason.
Yeah, I think you might have just answered my next question, but when I was going to ask you next, do you have a specific wow moment throughout your career when you think back and you can't believe the impact and the transformation that you've had on a person's life? But I think you
Yes,
might
I
have just,
do. This is
you have
another
another
one.
one.
Yes, I
Oh,
got another one because this would be a great one. Look, actually, a 64-year-old client does not drive and never worked in Australia. Besides, never thought of returning to work due to her communication, presentation issues. So I supported and motivated the client with, making her job ready with mock interviews and presentation of how to wear, what to use, and how to present yourself during. So I negotiate with my employer, and he's an amazing employer that I have really made great rapport with, and I haven't met with the employer, is just through the phone. And then even he agreed to, pick and drop my client, and it was just a wow moment for us, like from, what we did.
y- yes. I mean, sometimes you can be blown away by the generosity of others, how they would also be willing to go out of their way to pick up their new employee to support that person. So it's great to know that there's people out there who are willing to offer that type of support.
Yes, definitely.
Do you have any motto that you live by to sort of help you through some of the challenging days, something you live by?
Okay, so the motto of my life is that I believe in hard work, respect, honesty, and to give my best shot to everything I do with faithfulness. I love to support others rather than regretting it for my entire life. And we meet people in our lives for a reason, and I personally believe it's a good reason.
That's a great way to live your life. You know, if you can treat others with respect and honesty, then you hopefully you sort of see that come back your way as well.
Yes, that's right.
What do you think sets atWork Australia apart from other providers?
During my first visit with my clients, they do give positive comments by saying that this is the place will feel so welcoming. Then I could feel them, I could see them, that happiness in them because the way, I greet them and welcome them to the office. And then I don't want to go into their past. I'll tell them this is a new journey we're starting, and they said, this is what we need. You are changing people's life without judging. When we come here, we feel at home.
I know a lot of the time when people do walk through our doors, they've come from a challenging past. They might have been through traumatic experiences and they might not necessarily want to have to reflect and relive that. If they can come here and just focus on the future and work
Hmm.
towards their end goals, that could be a great stepping stone for them.
Exactly. New chapter.
Yeah, exactly. And, we understand that not everyone's journey towards employment is going to be smooth. There's going to be bumps along the way. What do you think some of our clients' common frustrations are?
With my understanding, maybe they were not treated well and respected. And furthermore, if they don't want to comply, they definitely make our work difficult. So, what I try to do during my initial appointments with my clients is first of all, is just building rapport and then knowing each other and, with honesty and everything what needs to be done. So this is where the clients will know. This is like, it at the end of the day, I do tell them that I am an employment consultant, so they will know that this journey is about employment eventually.
Yeah, exactly. If you explain to them the journey that, this is the end goal,
Hmm.
but there's a whole process and journey that we have to go on to be able to get to that goal. And some of that involves building your self-confidence, developing your skills to return to the workplace. So
Hmm.
it's important to get those steps right first to ensure, I guess, that once a person does find employment, that they're going to stay in that employment.
Yes.
And what would your advice be to employers who might be a bit hesitant towards employing a person who lives with a disability, injury, or some form of health condition?
Only thing I can say is that, look, we are all human. We are not perfect. No one knows what our tomorrow brings. Without judgment, avoid making assumptions and give chance to people.
That's some great advice. All people want is a chance to prove themselves. If they can be given an opportunity to show that they're a hard worker and, they might have changed from the person they used to be and not to be judged on their past, then,
Eh,
that could completely change a person's life.
That's true.
Everyone deserves a second chance. They can't always be judged and be treated poorly because of mistakes they've made in the past because, a lot of the time they just are mistakes. And what do you enjoy most about your job?
Being happy at work and loving what I'm doing by changing people's lives. In my job, I get to see the direct results of my hard efforts that I put in, which is extremely worthwhile. Putting that smile on my client's face is rewarding to me. Also, it makes me feel special that I'm acknowledged for my hard work by my company.
Yeah, it sounds like you're very passionate about your job, and I'm sure your passion about your job is a real reason for why your clients say such wonderful things about you. Passion, it can't be faked. People, you can't bluff your way through having passion about what you're doing. So
Mhm.
I'm definitely sure that that's what your clients see in you and why they respect you and leave such wonderful comments
Thank you,
on your
Shaun.
work. So
Thank you.
um, thank you very much for taking the time to come and have a chat with me today. I really appreciate getting your insights and learning about your career and journey with atWork Australia.
You are most welcome.
Thanks everyone for tuning in for another episode of Candid Conversations with Shaun. I'm sure by listening to our conversation, you could sense Rozy's passion for her work and now understand why she gets such wonderful Google reviews from her clients. So to find out more information about atWork Australia and how we can support you to find employment, please check out our website or follow the links in the show notes.